I'm going to preach today as we continue our series on adult conversations. I'm going to talk today about what if you married the wrong person. What if you married the wrong person? Are y'all praying with me? Thank you, ushers. Before there were tabloids, soap operas, chick flicks, or reality TV, there was a man in the Bible who married two sisters. His name was Jacob, and the sister wives were Leah and Rachel. They were the daughters of his uncle Laban. Jacob met Rachel at a well where shepherds were watering their flocks. Jacob worked 7 years for Laban in exchange for Rachel's hand in marriage. However, the morning after the wedding, Jacob looked over and realized that it was not Rachel. It was Leah. So it looks like Jacob married the wrong woman. When he confronted Laban, Laban informed him that it was not customary for the younger sister to get married before the older sister, but we can work something out. I'll allow you to marry Rachel, the younger girl, the one you wanted, in exchange for 7 more years of labor. Genesis 29:17 says, Leah had weak eyes, but Rachel was fine and beautiful. And then Genesis 29:30 says, Jacob loved Rachel more than he loved Leah. Well, perhaps there are people who have at some point wondered if, in fact, they had married the wrong person. So how do we arrive at such feelings? Maybe it is because loving them is killing you. Or different values, or worse, no values at all. Maybe some people are in a midlife crisis where they are rethinking everything and everybody. Sometimes it's a matter of loneliness. Same bed, different worlds. And then for so many, particularly young people who are in love, your marriage was blinded by your wedding. Christine Meineke wrote a book entitled Everybody Marries the Wrong Person. And this is what she said. She said, your spouse married the wrong person, and so did you. So how does this happen? How do we get here? Well, let's talk about the history of marriage. It is threefold. There was the arranged marriage. Can you say that? There was the romantic marriage. Say that. And then finally, there's the informed marriage. Can you say that? In ancient times, marriages were arranged for economic, social, religious, and political purposes. And for the last 250 years, Western cultures have embraced love as foundational to marriage. Such was born the belief that there is a perfect person out there somewhere who can meet our needs and satisfy our deepest desires. And we've called that person our soul mate. It was here where the focus of marriage shifted from we to me. And today it is wise to seek what I'm calling an informed marriage that examines each other's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and even financial health before the wedding. But let me tell you what most often happens. Two people who do not necessarily know themselves marry who they think they know. Can I just help you this morning? If you get married at the wrong time for the wrong reason, with the wrong expectations and the wrong beliefs, anybody will turn out to be the wrong person. Can I say this just for the benefit of the singles? Don't hang on. Hang up on me. I promise you'll need this. Let me say this for the benefit of the singles. If you're looking for the wrong person, they will always find you. People are looking for compatibility. Yeah, people are looking for compatibility who aren't willing to create it. But compatibility is the result of awareness, negotiation, and compromise. Yeah, tweet that, will you? I'm going to share that one more time. Compatibility is the result of awareness, negotiation, and compromise. I regret that in our culture, marriage has been cheapened by people with low standards and high expectations. They buy this dog and pony show called courtship, with two representatives impersonating real people. They focus on chemistry rather than character. Hear me when I tell you, chemistry lights the fire, but character keeps it burning. My single friends, know this, that if you are unhappy and single, you will be unhappy and married. Because marriage is not medication. Your happiness does not depend on another person. It depends on your wholeness. The happiest people are those who are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually complete. Just in case you've wondered, what if? Just in case you've wondered, what if? I want to tell you this morning, things might not have been any better with the other person. Why not? Let me tell you why. Because either they moved on or you didn't see a reason to stay. I mean, after all, if they were that good, why are they gone? Have I got a witness? But there is hope this morning. Let's bless God that there is hope. There is hope. There is hope. There is hope. Somebody say hallelujah. Hallelujah. There is hope. Rebecca Weber said this, and I want to leave it there for just a second so we can process this. She said, the day you wake up and say you have married the wrong person is the day that your marriage truly begins. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about stages of marriage and our relationship. The first stage is infatuation. Infatuation. That is a time of intense attraction, an uncontrollable urge. You can't quit thinking about him or her. You go to bed with them on your mind. You wake up with them on your mind. When they call at midnight and you're knocked out and they ask, are you asleep? You say, no. When they call in the middle of the day and you're swamped overwhelmed at work and they ask, are you busy? And you say, no. This is infatuation. In the period of infatuation, red flags are ignored. People who really love you call things to your attention and you say they're hating. Flaws are overlooked. The feeling trumps the facts. This stage is chemical in nature. Let me help you understand some things, all right? At the height of sensual pleasure, the brain resembles that of a person on heroin or cocaine. Biologically, your brain is releasing chemicals that create this ecstatic high. But the brain can't maintain the high, which is why the height of the sensual experience can't last long or it'll kill you. Man, that was the best I can do. And if by chance the brain did not protect you or itself by shutting off those chemicals, listen to this, you will literally fry your brain. So you wonder why folk in love do silly stuff. Their brains are fried. They can't think. Are you hearing me? In fact, it was Zoe Hicks who says hormones and logic rarely coincide. And we're not just talking about teenagers. Look at the term infatuate. The term infatuate comes from a Latin word that means foolish, idiotic, or silly. Yeah, that's what it means. But thank God. Now this is going to mess you up right now. Thank God for the letdown. Okay? The next thing is disappointment. Let's just say disappointment. The first is infatuation. The second is disappointment. Okay? This is when reality sits in. You have seen the ugly side of a beautiful person. And the loss of excitement must be grieved, and you mourn the untimely death of an unrealistic dream. And the challenge now is negotiating conflict and differences. Those flaws, they were always there. Those red flags, they were always there. Isn't it amazing that their phone is always dead in your presence? All right. I'll just move on. Disappointment. And the third stage, the first is infatuation. The second is disappointment. The third is resolution. Can church say resolution? Resolution. Now, this is the calm after the storm. A fight in the relationship turned into a fight for the relationship. And they are forced to take a fresh look at their marriage or relationship and consequently rediscover each other. And now she looks more beautiful than she ever has. Yeah. Gardner Taylor says the marriage now has some blood on it. You've been through some stuff. You've had some defining moments. Yeah. Listen. Did you not know that it was at the ball where the prince saw Cinderella at her best? Are y'all hearing me? But she was wearing rags when he proposed. Let me tell you why. Come here. Single sisters, walk with me. Listen, because her foot fit the glass slipper. See, you don't have to compete for what belongs to you. Can't nobody wear your shoes like you can. There is infatuation, disappointment, resolution, and here is the fourth point, and that is mature love. The relationship has grown up, but the relationship grows up after the people in the relationship grow up. Preach, Tim Jones, all by yourself. That's when people discover we are not perfect, but we're perfect for each other. The love is deeper than it has. I'm doing all right? It's deeper than it has ever been before. And you can sit in a room and reflect over the life of your marriage or your relationship. And you can look at your spouse and say, I didn't know if we would make it, but I'm glad we did. Somebody says, and that's when the exits are blocked. I got a verse for you. I wish that I had gotten this verse before I got married. But I promise you, this is a verse that'll save your marriage, that will strengthen your marriage. And I thank God for this verse. I've been waiting to share it with y'all for several weeks now, but it's Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 2. This is going to bless y'all. Y'all ought to read this together every night. Ephesians 4 and 2. It says, always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowances for each other's faults because of your love. Leave it there for a minute. Come on. Let's read together. Let's read together. Come on, y'all. Come on. Always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love. There are three things in this verse. The first is humility. Humility says, I may be wrong. The second is gentleness. Gentleness says, you may be wrong. And the third is patience, which says, we may be wrong. Where the married folk? Okay. See, all right. I want married folk to repeat after me. I may be wrong. Okay. You may be wrong. Okay, why was there more energy with the you may be wrong than with the I may be wrong? Isn't that just like us? Okay. And now if she close to you, just grab her by the hand. If not, just look over across the church and say, baby, we may be wrong. I wish I had this verse 21 years ago. But since I got it now, tomorrow ought to be sweeter than yesterday. Am I helping somebody up in here? All right. If you don't hear anything else I say to you today, hear this. Mature love focuses on what's right, not who's right. So now let's talk about who is the right person. I have a verse I want to give you, and I think God will allow me to use the homiletical license that I've taken with this verse. It's Luke 10:27. It says, you shall love the Lord your God and your neighbor, and I thought I would add spouse, as yourself. Let me tell you who the right person is. Y'all ready? Okay. The right person loves God. The right person loves oneself. And the right person loves you as they love oneself. Here it is. The right person loves you, the right person loves God, loves self, and loves you. Let me tell you why that's important. If they love you but don't love God, you become their God. This relationship is idolatry, which is sin. You will be expected to meet their needs, especially the ones they don't even know they have. They will eventually be disappointed because you cannot do what only God can do. They don't realize that that big hole in their life, in their soul, was not created for another person, but it was created for God, and you will never fit. If they love self and don't love you, they're only using you. If they love self and don't love you, they are only using you for their pleasure and profit. Come here. They are not looking for a timeless commitment. They are looking for a current event. Help me, somebody. And they can destroy you in ways you may even enjoy. Here's another thing you ought to tweet. As they waste your time, you waste your life. Help me, Jesus. And if they love you and don't love self, they need you to complete them. The love that most people long for can only come from within. And what they perceive to be love is really codependence. Know this. Empty people ultimately empty other people. And no one has enough self-esteem to share. I want to invite you to take another look with me at Leah. 17th verse says she had weak eyes. Rachel had it going on. I believe that initially Jacob loved Rachel, but he grew to honor and appreciate Leah. See, Rachel was drop dead gorgeous, but she was jealous, envious, and insecure. See, Jacob wanted Rachel, but he ultimately needed Leah. In Rachel, Jacob found beauty, but in Leah, he found destiny. Come here. See, Leah was the mother of Levi. From Leah came Levi, and from Levi came the priesthood. From Leah came Judah, and from Judah came Jesus, the Messiah. Maybe Leah was the right person after all. Let me just let the text talk. Rachel was buried in a ditch by the side of the road. But Leah was buried in the family crypt with Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah. I got a couple of verses. It's Genesis 49, 29 through 31. Y'all, this gonna bless you. I hope it does. Jacob is ready to die. And these are his last requests. He says, when I die, don't bury me in the ditch with Rachel, but bury me with my father and my grandfather in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite. And there I buried Leah. Know this. There will always be someone who is prettier, smarter, taller, darker, thinner, richer, or finer, but they will never be you. All right. Let me give you permission to celebrate yourself. Every time you look in the mirror, you ought to shout. Because you're wonderfully and fearfully made in the image and likeness of God. Are you hearing me? When you look in the mirror, you ought to say, woo-wee. When you look in the mirror, you ought to say, dang to yourself. When you look in the mirror, I said, dang to yourself. All right. When you look in the mirror, you ought to say, look at what God created. Somebody will call you narcissistic. Tell them, I ain't in love with the mirror. I'm in love with what I see in the mirror. And when you love yourself, you don't have to wake up in the morning wondering who will fall in love with you. When you love yourself, you don't get addicted to likes, friends, and followers on social media. When you love yourself. I want to challenge you this morning. I'm going to spend the rest of our time together talking about how to be the right person. Amen. I think it was last week or the week before perhaps where we talked about intimacy is giving each other everything. I want to challenge you to touch your spouse's heart, mind, and strength every day. Every day. Let's talk about how to touch your spouse's mind. Are y'all listening? You touch their mind when you respect what they think. See, neither one of you is as smart as both of you. And at some point, you got to recognize that we are the two wings on the same bird. See, you don't have to agree, but at least listen. Let me tell you what Winston Churchill said. Winston Churchill said, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak, but courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. In fact, Proverbs 4:7 says, in all thy getting, get what? In understanding. So we touch the mind. Am I doing all right? When we respect what they think. Here's the second thing. You touch your spouse's heart when you honor how they feel. What did I just say? 6 folk heard me. You touch the heart when you honor how they feel. Come here, let me help you. Let me help you. Now, this is particularly for the brethren, okay? Because we're fixers. We like to fix stuff. You know, when your spouse or your woman brings something to you, you're just wondering how you can get that fixed. They don't always really want it fixed. Sometimes they just want empathy. They just want you to get engaged in whatever the issue is. But know this, brothers, know this, because sometimes we just feel like we have to fix stuff, and we mess up stuff that we try to fix. Have y'all seen that guy in that truck? He rides around. He says, I repair what your husband fixed, or I fix what your husband repaired. Okay, so listen, help me, brother. Okay, all right, listen, thank me later. Even if you can't fix it, try to feel it. Okay, see, if you walk a mile in my shoes, you might understand why my feet hurt. See, you don't have to cry with me, but to hold me when I cry. Ooh, that's some good stuff. Preach it. Preach Tim Jones to yourself. And I tried to tell y'all last week that a person's feelings are always deeper than their words. So, we touch the mind when we respect what they think. We touch the heart when we honor how they feel. Number 3, we touch the soul when we accept who they are. Isn't it amazing that we fell in love with who they were, then tried to change them? But the only person you can change are the ones wearing diapers. Are y'all hearing me? I mean, rearing people is for parents, not spouses. Okay? See, no one is perfect, including you. Have I got a witness? People come as is with no warranty. You ain't got 48 months on me. No, I didn't come with no. You couldn't even get an extended warranty on me. Lee said, no, baby, he yours now. He can't cook, he can't clean up, but God bless you. You ain't got no warranty. In fact, the only guarantee is sometimes you might not even like that other person. Sometimes I don't like myself. Tom Bradbury says you don't get a line item veto when it comes to your spouse. Am I doing all right? I'm all right? I'm good? Okay, good. All right. We touch the mind when we respect what they think. We touch the heart when we honor how they feel. We touch the soul when we accept who they are. And we touch their strength or add to their strength when we support what they do. Hear this. Friendly fire kills just the same. See, sometimes your spouse needs a cheerleader and sometimes they need a coach. But sometimes we don't know when to be which. See, whether winning or losing, both the cheerleaders and the coaches are always on the sideline. Let me give you another reason to appreciate your spouse. I buried a whole lot of folk in 33 years of preaching, 29 years as a pastor. I buried a lot of folk. I used to collect all the funeral programs. You know what they say, in loving memory of our dearly departed, loving, faithful, devoted, whatever. I hadn't picked up an obituary that said, we are glad this I mean, don't nobody write in no obituary Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. The family down here, he got children in the balcony too. Come on, nobody put all that in obituary. But everybody's a saint when they die. Even sinners. Y'all quit trying to put sinners in heaven. Y'all, at funerals, y'all talking about, he didn't go to church, but he had a good heart. He might not have ever got baptized or accepted Christ, but who am I to judge? Y'all, in some of these funerals, I can honestly say, and she went on to be with the Lord. Some other times I'd say, and she went on. If you ain't trying to get into heaven while you're living, I ain't trying to put you in heaven when you die. And y'all quit trying to bring folk up in here to have funerals from folk. You trying to bring them up in here dead, they wouldn't come and they were living. I've been wanting to say that 30 years. How did we get way over there? Oh, I know where I was going with that. I know this is where I was going. This is where I was going. Find and celebrate the good in your spouse before the funeral. Yep, that's what I'm here for. I leave you with this thought. The goal is not to find the right person, it's to be the right person. I read this little story. I think Brina's gonna love it. The story is told of a psychologist who used therapy to mold his fiancée into the perfect spouse before their wedding. Unfortunately, the couple ended up in divorce court. So somebody asked the psychologist, what happened? And he said, I made one mistake. I forgot to do the same therapy on myself. I would drop the mic. The goal is not to find the right person. It is to be the right person. Take advantage of an opportunity to come visit us at the Family of Faith. We love you. Be strong and be encouraged.